I said, dang.
Stop the cursing.
I said, dang, man.
Oh, okay, that's better.
No, I ain't trying to do
Hey,
crazy.
y'all. How y'all doing? Where's my, All right, see you later on, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Skip to my room, please.
Yeah, I will. All right. Hey, guys. Hopefully you all will catch the replay of this because I can't be long. I'm actually getting ready to get out of here so that I can go to the burial of my niece today. Um, and I got a little bit sidetracked. That's why I wanted to come on and do this video real quick. Happy Sunday morning. I got a little bit distracted this morning. If y'all go back and check out some of my videos, you'll see a lot of what I talk about. Um, I have a brother who appears to hate me. And I know it's just what he's dealing with right now. And it has nothing to do with me. But if y'all have siblings out there, once you've made your peace with them, he's still texting me right now. Once you've made your peace and you've apologized for something you have done, whether you know you've done it or not. Good morning. I appreciate that. Her life was actually taken from her. And I have a huge event coming up in September for domestic violence. She was only 37, and he took her away from 3 of her children. The grounds was too wet to actually bury her Monday, so the burial is today. And so I'm having an event for Domestic Violence Month because honestly and truthfully, they only have Domestic Violence Month in the month of October. But this is something that should be ongoing. It should never just be restricted to 1 month. Not something like this anyway. Hi, Ashley. So I got a little bit distracted this morning because I had a situation at my mother's house last night. And I talk on this channel a lot about life. Real. Hi, Natalie. No, I won't get back to the fields because God has brought me too far from that. But I'm not going to let you distract me from this story. But anyway, thank you, Delisha. I appreciate that. Hey, Natalie. So I will not allow you to distract me. If you look at my home page, if I've not already deleted it, I talk about never going back to the fields. God has brought me too far to allow anyone to take me back there. So keep your insults to yourself for today or move on to some other page because it doesn't work with me. So yes, I'm having a big event in the month of, oh, you left your phone? In the month of, next month actually, for Domestic Violence Month. And I allowed myself to get sidetracked this morning because we had an issue at my mother's house last night. And I checked it. You don't have to be malicious to tell people what you feel, because the one thing that I hate doing, hi Autumn, thank you, I appreciate that. The one thing that I absolutely hate doing is telling a person how I feel only to have to go back and apologize. Hi Armani, I hate doing that. So of course my brother is cursing me out from the rooter to the tutor this morning, but it's okay. It's okay because I understand the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So it's okay. It's okay. That is something that he has to contend with. So let me tell you something. You only, you only are required. Thank you, Amani. You are only required to apologize to someone if you know you've done something wrong to them. I never knew for all of these years until a couple of months ago. Until a couple of months ago, I never realized that my personality hurt him as a child. I didn't realize that. But unfortunately, I share life stuff on this page. Y'all don't know my brother from a can of paint, so you never know who I'm talking about. But my brother, unfortunately, has reverted back to being on drugs when he was free from it for many, many years. And he made the mistake and messed around and tried it again and got hooked again. So all of this malicious stuff that he got going on right now has just triggered everything in him that I used to be like. I was very dominant. I was that person that would be in your face, in your gut, in your throat. I never mess with you, but if you were doing something wrong, I was that person that would be in your face to tell you, listen, no, this isn't right. You're not doing this. And he looked at it as if I was dominating him. So he told me, you are, you know, your personality was strong, but I'm a man now. But you know what I did? I apologized to my brother. I apologized to him and I told him, listen, for all that I've done, knowing and unknowing, I truly do apologize to you. I never meant to hurt you, never even knew that this was a problem for you. But guess what? He didn't want to hear it. So God released me from that. I'm doing good, Joanne. How are you? God released me from that. So if you have siblings, anyone in your family that you thank you for that, Jen. You have siblings or anyone that have told you you've done something wrong to them and you've hurt them, it's your duty to go to them and apologize. As much as you may not want to, as much as you may feel like you don't owe them an apology, it is your duty to go to them and make it right. Now, you're not apologizing because you want a relationship with them, because I don't need a relationship with my brother right now, because the state of mind that he's in right now is not conducive to my life, my husband, my children. That doesn't work. Hurt people hurts people, and I understand that. I was the one. I'm that person. I'm that sister. You could dog me out. You could say all type of malicious things to me, but if you need me, I'm going to be there for you. Wow, Delisa. I am, that's how I am. Several months ago, he was in a state of mind. Hi, Courtney. My brother was in a state of mind to where he was shaking. His hands were shaking. He looked like he was in another world because he had gotten too high. My mother called me out of my bed. I lived like 10 minutes or so, maybe a little less than 10 minutes high from my mother. You know what I did? Although I had to get up to go to work the following morning, I jumped up out of my bed and I went there to my brother, the same one who quote unquote hates my guts. I went over there to him and I prayed for him and I tried to get him some help. I was on the phone all day trying to get my brother some help. The following day, he declined it. He said he didn't need help. So let me tell y'all something. You don't have to keep apologizing to people for the same thing that you've already apologized for. You got to move on with your life. And that's exactly what I'm doing. You hate me, you hate my guts. Okay, that's okay. Thank you, Delisa. My mama called me the other day, Monday in fact, before I went to my niece's funeral. She called me and told me she's proud of me. Hi, Organ War. She said, I'm proud of you. I said, for what? She said, because you could hold your own. I don't ever have to worry about you. I'm my mother's only daughter. I'm her only daughter. I'm her oldest child. I have 2 younger brothers. We have different fathers. My brothers have one dad. I have a father who passed away a couple of months before I was born. I had the opportunity to visit my dad's grave for the first time, well, the second time, because I never really visited it except once. But he died in March of 1970, and I was born in May of 1970 in a tragic car accident. So my personality is completely different from my brothers. People always tell me I reminded them of my father. Because he was a bold person who wasn't going to back down. He was not going to back down. The one thing that I don't do, if you're in a situation where you're having issues with your siblings and you're married, don't allow your spouses to get involved with that, because siblings go through stuff all of the times. And I told my husband, I said, listen, I got him. I don't need you to get involved in this. Now, he's not going to ever let my brother just outright disrespect me in his face. But I told him I got this. I don't want, the less people involved, the better. Oh, you were? Yeah. But on my dad's side, I literally have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. One of which I'm extremely close to. The other, I guess, had an issue with my mother for having a child with her father. Mind you, my mother was only 17 when she got pregnant with me. But she took a huge problem with that. Now, my dad was married. However, my mama was a little girl, 17. She started seeing him when she was 15, young and foolish. But guess what? And all of that, he got married after she got pregnant. And that was rough on her all in itself. And to add that insult to injury, my grandfather ate her alive because she got pregnant for him. So I said all of that to say I've created some amazing family outside of my biological family. I believe God will give you the hearts of your desire. The desire of your hearts, excuse me. No, I'm not Jamaican. I believe that God will give you the desires of your heart. So it's always my heart to have strong people around me. Strong people around me who's going to advocate for me. Listen, even on my HIPAA, if I were to ever have a crisis and I needed to go to the emergency room. Hi, Carl. Hey, Terrence, I literally have my friends along with some of my families who I know is going to advocate and be there for me, who's going to ask plenty of questions, who's just not going to allow doctors to say and do whatever they want to do with me. I have a community of people who love me. This is the brother that I just took pictures with last year for Thanksgiving. Hi, TJ. Just took pictures with him last year for Thanksgiving, and we were in a good space. But the moment I challenged him to do better, it's always in that moment when you're challenging your loved ones to do better and they're not quite ready, they will lash out against you. And that's exactly what he did. I cooked dinner at my mom's house a couple of Sundays ago, and he ate it. So how could you hate me so much and yet eat the food that I prepare? You know what he said? Because I hate you and I used you. Let me tell you something. When you're doing good, evil will never prevail. Number one. Number two, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. The Bible tells us that. So when he says he's hate me, that's the devil who hates me. My aunt told me before she passed away in March of this year. And I mean, she was a giver. She was the bank. She was the counselor. She was the therapist. She was the praying auntie that everybody in the family went to. Everybody. You know what my aunt said to me? I said, how do you let people use you so much? See, she said, Tracy, no one could use me. No one could use me. Because the Bible says that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Because my brother had the audacity. I said, if you hate me so much, why are you eating from me? Hi. I said, why? He had the audacity to text me back and said, because I don't like you and I used you. I laughed at that because you can never use me. Never. Because when I do good, God blesses me. So you can never use me. What you're doing is creating a problem in your own life. So when you're doing good to people and for people, don't feel like you're being used. God is going to reward you. Now, I'm not telling no one to be a fool. I won't just pick up food and say, you know what, I'm going to take food to him today. No, I'm not doing that. But if I prepare a meal in my mother's house and he's there and he wants something to eat, I would never deny him. But I will not go out of my way to pick food up solely for him. So you could never be used when you're doing good by God. I thank y'all so much. You know, some of the comments, I could tell that YouTube is blocking them. Some of the comments, people are just, I tell you, you could tell that evil definitely resides in this world. It exists. Because when people could take the time, I hope these bobby pins don't stick me too much. When people could take the time and literally sit on social media and say nasty and evil things to people for no reason. These people don't know me from a can of paint. Thank you, Vivid. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. All the cursing and carrying. Oh, yeah, I did tell him how I felt now. But I wasn't going to go back and forth with the cursing. And no, I'm not doing that. And then the next thing what people will do, be mindful of this. When they can't get you in one way, they begin to create lies and tell lies. He just texted me and told me earlier that I used to steal my mama husband's money, which is a big lie from the pits of hell. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a lie from the pits of hell. My mother and my mother's husband and I did not have a great relationship. I was rebellious when I was young. We didn't have a really good relationship until 2 years prior to his passing. You know who my mom called first? When her husband passed out on the living room floor? She called me. I just thank God before he passed, I was able to reconcile with him. I was the one picking him up from his dialysis appointments. I was the one who was, hi Emmy, I was the one, how you doing today? I was the one who would take him to his doctor's appointments to give my mother a break, take him for breakfast. I was the one that did those things. Was I always nice? I think I was a fairly nice person, but then I was also a person who didn't take nothing off of anyone. And so to some people, they would rather you allow them to run through you, run all over you. And the moment that you stand up for yourself, then you become a problem. You know who was the last person in that room with my mother's husband when he passed away? Me and his niece. I was sitting right by the bed 2 years ago when he passed. You know who my mother called out of the bed? When he passed out on that living room floor, once again, me. So when people can't get you in one area, they'll begin to project themselves on you. They will begin to tell lies. King? Hey, y'all go follow King on his YouTube channel, King Fishies. Consistency is key, King. I've been doing this for a long time. In fact, I started creating videos when I was married to my former husband. I would sit in the living room, at the kitchen table, I should say, and I would just start creating videos, and it just felt like it wasn't going nowhere. I would start, stop, start, stop. But now I'm on a roll. I am on a roll, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it unless the Lord tells me to stop. I'm going to continue doing it. Don't stop. Be your authentic self and do not stop. Keep doing what you do, because I guarantee you it will pay off. But you got to have a love. Where did he go? You have to have a love for what you're doing. Because when things don't look like it's going according to what you want it to go and how you want it to go, it's so easy to give up. So you got to stay the course. You cannot stop. Don't stop. All right, I don't think I need to put bracelets and stuff on. I literally have to get out of here. Literally. But I wanted to share this video this morning and tell you guys, if you're dealing with anything with family members, don't allow it to discourage you. If you've done some wrong in some areas and you know you've done some wrong, then ask people to forgive you. Ask them for their forgiveness. And once you've done that, free yourself from that. Don't allow people to keep holding you bondage for something you've done. Man, I'm 55 years old. When I was a child and I still felt compelled to apologize? What? These are the type of contents I create. I talk about real family issues. I talk about things that happens in the world. I cook sometimes. I may just drive and just talk. My husband sometimes say, "You're not tired of talking?" No. Because God has given me a voice to use and I'm going to use it. So no, I'm not tired of talking. There are some folks who wish that they could talk. There are some people who wish that they still had the ability to talk. When my auntie went to that emergency room, she died in March of this year. She thought she was coming back home. Yeah, she had some health challenges, but she had no idea she wasn't coming back home that day, because she always did. She always managed to pull through it. Always managed to pull through it. And so that particular day, I mean, my aunt was a bad chick. Let me tell you. She would go on that dialysis machine, nails done, hair done, makeup done. I mean, she was fly. And before she went to the emergency room, my auntie was telling her, my other auntie, "Hey, we need to hurry up and go and get you to the emergency room because, you know, you don't sound right. You don't look like you're feeling too good." She said, "I want you to put my wig on my head. I need you to put my perfume on. I need to be lotioned down." She said all of this before she went to the emergency room. She said all of this. And by the time she got there, my other auntie, which is her baby sister, by the time she got there, they were just prepping my aunt. You know, they were going to test her, you know, check her heart and stuff, make sure it is okay. Mind you, my aunt was only 65 years old. They're testing her for different things. We're getting ready to test her. And my aunt said they're going to do an EKG on her. They said they're going to do an EKG on her. She said, "Well, I'll step out of the room." The moment she stepped her foot out of the door, my aunt's heart stopped. By the time I got to the hospital, they were still pumping her chest. I still could visually see my auntie in the bed. They're pumping her chest, trying to bring her back. She was gone. But I tell you what, it was a peace that flows like rivers of water. It was a peace that I've never experienced before when someone had just passed, because she lived to worship God. She lived to honor God. And when you go into her home, there was never a time You weren't going to go in there and not hear the word of God playing. If it wasn't the word of God, it was Christian music. She lived that life. She walked that life. And according to doctors, she wasn't supposed to make it here that long. But she pushed and she pushed and she pushed. So we're all at the hospital, a bunch of us. We're at the hospital, and as they're pumping her, I guess her weight came off, and we're looking around like, wait a minute, hey now. Auntie Teresa didn't play this. I politely went over to my aunt's deceased body, dead body, put her wig back on her head while she's in the bed, fixed it up. It was like a peace for us. It was a peace. We sat in that room by her body for hours before we left. For hours. So when you live your life the right way, it'll be a peace about you that people could sense and feel. When we went to her house, when she passed, it wasn't like the spirit of death had just taken place in there. It was a spirit of peace. Of course, we had our moments. I still have my moments right now. I still miss my aunt. Sometimes I want to call her and it's like, golly, she's not even here anymore. Y'all, I'm going to try my best to do this without dropping everything, but I got to, oops, sorry y'all. I got to get out of here because I know I'm running behind. So give me just a moment to grab everything that I need as I'm getting out of here. Where's my shoes? Okay, where's my other shoes? Hold up, you guys. I am running behind. But I definitely wanted to share this with you all because I'm sure I'm not the only person who deals with stuff like this. I'm sure I'm not. Okay, let's see if I can make it out the door. The place is not very far away from me at all. If you're just joining in, I'm heading over to the burial site where they're going to be burying my niece on today. I've been saying this whole week whenever I come on that my niece's life was taken, and her funeral was Monday, taken due to domestic violence. This guy chose to make a decision to take her life away from her. Just outright, just take her life away. I didn't even have time to fill my water cup. Y'all, if you hear the air conditioner and can hardly hear me, I so apologize because it's hot. Let me switch this over. Give me just a minute. Y'all, give me just a second. Now, as you can tell, I'm moving around trying to get into my car. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, I am so glad I to help. Hi, hello to everyone who is saying hello. Oh, y'all, it is hot. Woo. It's a hot day. It's a hot day. But it's a blessed day. because it's so hot. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all wonderful people doing? Let me flip the camera right quick. So this road right here in my local city is actually called, well, it's Riverland Drive, but I'll show you in just a moment. There's a lot of deers back here. In fact, the deer just ran across the car last week. But this street, right past the sign right here, there's a tree called Dead Man Curve. And it's called Dead Man Curve because so many people have hit this tree and died. So many people. So many people. In fact, my cousin was in an accident around here, this street right here. My cousin was in an accident and this tree almost claimed her life. But instead it claimed the life of, I think it was 2 or 3 other people in the car. She was the only one that made it out alive. So this is a very dangerous street back here. I take it and I'm very cautious when I'm driving through here. Sometimes I'm only doing 30 miles an hour because if a deer runs out in front of you and you're speeding, you may not have time to stop. So yes, I'm from the country. I am actually going to the burial for my niece who was killed a couple of weeks ago. The funeral was Monday. Someone just asked me that. The funeral was Monday. The grounds was too wet to bury her, so the funeral is today. Not the funeral, I'm sorry, the burial is today. Oh, my sister's over there, so she must be going. I just passed my sister's mom's house. So I'm in from a small area which has grown real big in South Carolina, this particular area. And like I said earlier, I have 2 sisters and 4 brothers from my dad. And I literally just passed, she lives about 45 minutes away from me, but I just passed her mother's house. So I guess she's going to be going to the burial as well. But I don't know why she hasn't left yet because we're supposed to be there at 11. I guess she's just like me. I'm running late. Oh, yeah, you're right about that. There are some areas in every area, I believe, that could be very dangerous if you're not careful. That's taken so many lives. So many lives. It's crazy. So many lives. In fact, that's how my dad passed, not from that tree, but not even a quarter of a mile down from where my mother lives right now. My father was 22 years old. He was racing late in the morning because in the country they race against each other. And he was racing and he lost control of his car, hit a tree, and died immediately. So I'm coming up to it now, guys. Like I said, it wasn't far away from my house at all. It wasn't far away from my house at all. So to be respectful to my family, I'm not going to take the phone out of the car with me. But I will, I'll leave it running and hopefully be able to park it so you can see what's going on. Car photo. Thank you so much, Felicia. Sister, I need you to give me a call. I said, well, if you want to call, you're going to have to call me because I deleted your number out of my phone. Because I'm like this. I don't have time for drama. I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm not going to keep repeating the same things over and over again. That's just how I am. I'm pretty much a non-tolerant person. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's about to rain again, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's just a portion of my life. We all go through it. Every single person goes through it. Sometimes I reply back to nonsense, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say what I have to say. But the crazy thing is, people feel like they can say what they did. I took the wrong way. Really? People feel like they can say whatever it is that they want to say to you, and the moment you reply back, you're being rude. No, it's not about being rude. But I believe that we all have a voice and we should be able to use it. Something as simple as I have an 8-year-old granddaughter. And we were riding in the car one day, and I noticed when I turned the air conditioner down, I noticed she put her jacket on. And I said, were you cold? And she said, yes. I said, well, why didn't you say something? I told her, I said, you have a voice. You have a voice that needs to be heard. You should never be sitting back uncomfortable because you're afraid to speak up or tell someone something. There's always a way to say what you have to say. And there are some times when you can tell people things and it doesn't matter how you say it. They're going to be upset with you. That's just real talk. Some people, it doesn't matter how pleasant it is. Think about it. It doesn't matter how pleasant a husband tells his wife he's cheated on her, or a husband tells his wife she needs to get a job. It does certain things. It doesn't matter how pleasant you say it. The blow is going to be hard. So I just tell her, speak up. Speak up. It was hot out there, y'all. You hear me? This water is cold. Oh, I'm not going to put my mouth on that. It's left in the car all night. When I get home, guys, I'm going to end this live so I could watch some teaching. I didn't go to church this morning because, of course, you saw where I just came back from. So, I feel like I want something sweet out of the store. I'm really going to regret it, probably. But I eat so bad this weekend, I probably don't need anything. I probably don't need anything. I'll go get me some watermelon. I'll do that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm going to go to Publix, get me some fruits so I won't eat bad again today like I did over the weekend. Cook some dinner and just relax for the rest of the day. Hopefully what I'm cooking shouldn't take no more than an hour, so I'll be done in the kitchen for today. Thanks for all of my new subscriptions. I appreciate you all so much. Just remember to click the bell so that you be notified when I'm uploading videos or when I'm going live or uploading videos, because if you go back and you look at my videos, I've been doing this for a long time, but I used to go on YouTube, Facebook a lot, and just started really doing a whole lot of live streaming on YouTube. Oh, come on. I don't want to miss anyone's comments before we leave. Delisa, I thank you so much, because it seems like you're on here quite often when I'm live, and I appreciate you for watching. I really do. you all. I truly do. Y'all have an amazing Sunday. Always remember, healthy mind, joyful life. Do not allow anyone to distort your peace, joy, or happiness. And if for some reason you happen to fall prey to it, don't linger in it. I will not allow the conversations between my brother and myself to take control over the rest of my day. It will not happen. It will not happen. So talk to you guys soon. I'm parking so I can go inside of Publix.